Oh, hello. Hi, it's Infiniti. And it is 11 o'clock, or it just turned 11:01 on the 17th of April. So I am going to just give it a minute. Welcome to this live feed. It's very impromptu, very much guided, and very much honestly not something I was really into doing right now because I'm pretty tired. It's been a really full day. However, I don't really get to pick exactly what I need to do or have to do or any of that good stuff. Sometimes, a lot of the time. And this has been like, maybe I'll do a live today. But then it was also like, go with the flow. And then a couple hours ago, it was pretty clear that I was going to work with the Oracle, specifically the Heart of Faerie Oracle. I made eye contact with the box, the packaging. It's beautiful packaging. And I have it kind of in an area. I'm not sure it's going to stay there, but that's where it's at right now. It's a box. It's a really pretty box. And it looks like this. This is the book for the Heart of Faerie Oracle. And so it looks just like that, but it's a box, and it's where this and the cards come in. And what's really weird about these decks that Brian Froud did, he also did the Faerie Oracle. So the Faerie Oracle actually came out first, and then the Heart of Faerie. There's a little bit of overlap, but for the most part, they're different. So anyway, I made eye contact with the box of this, and then I was like, huh, interesting. And they're like, hey. And then I walked into my office and then bumped into the book that was just kind of like sticking out a little bit from my table. And when I got to my table, it bumped me, and I looked down and I saw this. So within I have something on my ceiling. So within just a few minutes, I saw this image, or not ceiling, but roof. I saw this image like twice in just a couple of minutes. So I was like, okay, guess I'm going to be working with the Heart of Faerie Oracle, which is odd. So to just hear from that specific group, without it being attached to a bigger thing already. So anyway, here we are. It is 11:05 in the Pacific, 4 minutes and 4 seconds into the feed. It looks like I have one viewer. Hello. Please say hello, and if you choose to, you don't have to. Do what you wish. It's a Willow. Hi. You're up late. I have a feeling you're always up late. It's really good to see you. How are you? how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's up? What's new? What's shaking? It occurred to me today, I was like, shit, I have got to reach out to Willow because I have not talked to her since my last live. And when I did the pendulum, and we confirmed that you are an angelic, and you know, life, right? So, you just, well, I just came live like 5 minutes ago. It's late working another thingy. Are you making another one of those spinny things? Is that what you're talking about? The light ship? What are you talking about? Am I just wishful thinking? Yeah. Oh. You know, before I came on, I had this little fantasy, like, what if I go live and all these crazy people in my soul family were like, ding, 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 like, I'm a play too. And I'm like, don't be silly. Whoever shows up, shows up. But it would be funny if it was, you know, because so many of you guys are even further ahead of me. So I'm always amazed when I see you guys. Gold. Oh, wow. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Did you ever post pictures? Probably not. But I haven't been to your Instagram either, but I would have thought that you would have seen it. Anyhow, today has been just really interesting energetically. Let's say that. Lots of messages today. Yesterday was an activation day. I got that information. You know, maybe now that like I'm going through time and the year, it's becoming apparent which dates are announced as days, important days, but like on the day. I don't get a whole lot of notice if they're not like on like a full moon, a new moon, an equinox, a solstice, a gate, a portal landing, or taking off day or whatever. Like yesterday was an activation day for specifically twin flames. And I was like, well, actually, to be honest, life, right? Life has been pretty crazy in my world. I'm still getting settled in. I'm still moving in. You're thinking she goes long round. You're like, wonder if I can ask you. Ah, seriously? That's hilarious. Yeah, well, that's what it's been. It's been like a couple months of full moons and new moons with me, and then maybe some other lives, you know, as opposed to me going live every single day like I did for like the better part of 3 months. Back in the day. Feels like forever ago. But anyway, that's pretty cool. I did put a message in the group chat that I was going to possibly go live today. And I was just like, hey, yo, people, how you doing? What's up? How's energy? I may be going live today because it was just really, really intense and it never effing stopped. And messages were just in abundance. Manifestations were just extraordinarily, impressively quick and almost comical. And I slept like 2.5 or 3 hours because I was up all night painting. And then here I am. It's 11:10, and I'm so freaking tired. I've been going non-stop all day. And it's this thing with the oracle and having to do a reading. And there's a rule, I'm not allowed to do any readings privately, even for myself, that aren't recorded on video, because they tend to be very, if you've seen my readings, they're, I don't know how to describe them. Like I can't make this shit up. You know, the cards that get pulled, when they get pulled, how they get pulled, or how they fly out, and what I'm saying and what's all going on. And it's so beyond magical and not coincidental that if I try to explain it, or even if I try to recall it for myself and it happens to be an important one, I'm like, I can't even, like. So a while ago, it was, you have to get it on video. So then it becomes, do I get it just on video? Do I then post it after the fact? Do I go live? It becomes all those questions. And I literally sat here for the next hour and a half with this thing going back and forth. Like, do I really need to do this? Do I really need to do this? Like, I really don't want to get into this right now. I'm really tired. And it's like, yeah, that doesn't matter. You're getting into this right now. So, you know, I don't always get to pick what I do when and how it all comes about. It, like I said, yesterday was an activation day for twin flames. It was a mirror day. And numbers for most, any activated soul who has a twin incarnate would have been seeing some very, very interesting sets of numbers yesterday and today. That would include mirrored numbers, sequential numbers, mirrored and flipped numbers, repeated numbers and flipped numbers. So that energy is really high. And as well as, well, full moon is in less than 24 hours, so there's that. Oh yeah, your little brother had a party today. His 5th birthday, right? That's awesome. That's awesome. Hi. Got Rosie. Please see Rosie. So we have Rosie. We're in my bedroom. Check it out. I started finally decorating in here too. So I've got branches. Ariel's up there. Gabriel. I tried to put him in bed because he's been, he actually woke me up today. So he's been, oh my gosh, this computer is so heavy. So he's been up a really long time. And I was like, you must be tired. And I tried to like get him to go to sleep. And he's like, no, I'm good. Yep, I saw a lot of synchronicities. Yeah. So, cool. Thanks for confirming. So, yeah, definitely that's a thing. I've had so many intentions of sharing more numbers or more of my, you know, screenshots on Instagram, and it's like they're just coming in so rapidly that it's like I can barely before I'm like, oh wow, I've got to post that. There's like more and more and more. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to post a set. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll post 2 sets. Well, what am I going to do? And then pretty soon it's like the next day. And then I'm like, on it, same thing practically. And it's on a level right now that it's just, and it's like if I have Pandora going, so we have several sets of numbers going on at the same time, it's just mirrored numbers plus sequential numbers and all sorts of stuff going on. Wow. Okay, so I've been on for 15 minutes. A couple people have come and gone. Yeah, it's just like rapid fire. And that's just the numbers, and that's not take into account everything else. And there's so much that oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was cornelian. Are you familiar with that, Willow? The crystal. I was guided to that today. That is delicious. I think heard of it, and maybe I know I've heard of it and seen it, but I hadn't really been guided to get any. You know, I just kind of go as guided. And that was one of the things that came today, was that came into my universe, and it was like, yep, you got to get some of that. I was like, oh, okay. And then I immediately think of going to the rock shop that I always go to. And then it was like, no, look up and see what other crystal shops are in the area. And I never go to any other crystal shop, like ever. And I was like, all right. And so it turns out that in the Lake Arrowhead village, where we go to the grocery store, or one of the grocery stores, but it's up the mountain at Lake Arrowhead, there's a like fossil and crystal shop there. And I knew right away, well, that's going to be ridiculously expensive, because that's a very nice area, very touristy, and things are not cheap there, let's just say. Okay, so I was like, well, regardless, I want to check it out. I'm being guided there no matter what, so we'll go. Yeah, carnelian. I was looking it up on my what did that just say? 11/18, 1752. It's spelled C-A-R. I was like, oh, it's like carne. You do? Okay, yeah, carnelian. C-A-R-N-E-L-I-A-N. Right. Well, we went to that one nice place at Lake Arrowhead, and he had some amazing stuff there. I have a little video when we first were walking in. I'm going to post it. He made me stop recording. I was like, oh, sorry. I had already been recording, and then just never stopped on the way in. But it was a really cool place, but it was extremely expensive. It was even high for like regular crystal shops, but like I said, where it was at. And he did have some in various forms, but it was really expensive. And I was like, okay, I'll just go to my rock shop. And so I did, and I got a few pieces of it. It's really pretty, and I'm in love with it. It feels really good. Let me show you. I also got more shells. I really, well, I've gotten a couple really big pieces of abalone there, like, or in shells, like really big pieces. But for the most part, I don't usually get shells. But today I did. And this is one of them. This is one of the shells that I got. Isn't it pretty? I also found a feather. And that reminded me to go to because we got home, put stuff away, blah, blah, blah. I was just going to take Rosie on a walk. And then I found the feather and they're like, you got to go to the rock shop, get your crystals. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had to come back and get my purse. And isn't that beautiful? I got 2 of these. And then I got, oh, here's the feather. I accidentally burned it. I got a little too close to the flame. I was like, oh no. It was really stupid. Anyway, that is carnelian. I love the color. It's a really pretty orange. It's got really cool pieces, like the ones that I picked anyway. I have these really cool like facets. Yeah, and then I got a really light colored one. That's a carnelian too. But I on purpose got a really light one, and then I got like just like the regular kind of. That one's even pretty light. But they just feel really soothing. Like I love how they feel. And so I wanted to go over a little bit. Excuse me. I wanted to go over a little bit what I like going to crystal vaults. So it's crystalvaults.com. So you can look up about carnelian. And let's see, there we go. It says, like the unexpected fire of a sunset or the first flash of autumn brilliance, carnelian captivates. Its bold energy brings a rush of warmth and joy. I want to keep holding that. Like a tiny bit of candy. Yeah, totally. It totally could be candy. Like you could wrap that up and somebody would like. It's kind of caramelly, maybe, like, and it is warm. It's really, I mean, obviously it's tumbled, but it also feels soft. So anyway, I'll continue. Its bold energy brings a rush of warmth and joy that lingers, stimulating and empowering. Known as a stone of motivation and endurance, leadership and courage, carnelians have protected and inspired throughout history. A glassy, translucent stone. Hey there, Catterday morning. 2 fillers were... Okay. It's an orange-colored variety of chalcedony. I'm not saying that right. Chalcedony. A mineral of the quartz family. Its color varies from pale pinkish orange to deep rusty brown, though it is most known for its brilliant orange and red-orange crystals. Its name comes from the Latin word meaning flesh. In antiquity, as well as today, carnelian is believed to help timid speakers become both eloquent and bold. Ancient warriors wore carnelian around their neck for courage and physical power to conquer their enemies. In Egypt, it was worn by master architects to show their rank of builder. And alchemists of the Middle Ages used it as a boiling stone to activate the energy of other challenge. Why can't I say this right now? Chalcedonies. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. As the first stone in the breastplate of the high priest, it signifies the blood of the martyrs and was once believed to prevent illness of the plague. How interesting. The ancient Egyptians called carnelian the setting sun. In its orange hues, they identified it with receptive or passive female energies and associated it with the fertile menstrual blood of the mother goddess, Isis. In its red, orange to reddish brown shades, they considered it the active male energy. They considered it the active male energy stone, recognized by its glowing, vibrant color. Carnelian is traditionally worn to enhance passion, love, and desire. Carnelian uses and purposes. Orange stones, especially the carnelians, are excellent aids for training, coordination of physical exercise programs, and for balancing body energy levels. Oh, we talk a lot about balance and balancing around here, don't we? Carnelians boost a listless attitude and can stimulate the appetite. Oh God, I don't need that. I already have to eat like a hummingbird. I can't. Used as a professional support crystal, carnelian aids architects, builders, and construction workers in their creation of master buildings, stimulates power and stamina in athletes and military personnel, establishes form and organization in journalists, and stimulates motivation in salespersons. So, if you are somebody who deals with building, you're an athlete, you're in the military, you do any kind of organization, you're a writer, you're a researcher, you're creative, you want to get motivated, you want to be able to speak to people, get yourself some carnelian. And we just got started, people. Carnelian is said to attract prosperity. Here we go. New resources and good luck. It is a talisman for success in any money-making venture. In the workplace, it is a crystal of ambition, drive, and determination, and wards off undue pressures of coworkers or in personal corporations with unrealistic expectations. Carnelian clarifies the voice. It is the singer's stone. It also promotes confidence for performances on stage or in live media. Well, hello there. I'm just now getting this, and I've been doing lives for forever now. Carnelian is traditionally known to guard against falling masonry and accidents with tools. Today it guards the home from theft, fire, storm, or accident. Nice. Carnelian lends the courage needed to help overcome difficulties and defend a cause. It promotes idealism, a sense of community, and pragmatism. Oh goodness. I mean, who can't use all of this, but especially somebody like me and what I need to be doing. Orange and red carnelian are important crystals to use for love and for the consummation of love. Aww. I'm like, oh, I remember that, sort of. Orange crystals in particular, fertility and potency symbols, and are linked with conceiving a child. Carnelian of either color may help in rekindling passions that might have faded in an otherwise loving relationship. So shit got stale, get yourself some carnelian. Carnelian, and Number 2, don't let it get stale. Number 3, I offer couples healing. Okay. Carnelian healing energy. Physical healing energy is okay. So carnelian is full of the life force, stimulating metabolism and a good supply of blood to the organs and tissues. It influences the reproductive organs of both sexes. It increases fertility. Is it interesting how I'm just going to stop here right now because I'm just being guided. It's like ding, 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 being guided to tell all you guys about carnelian, especially for those of you who really know that you are a twin, and you may be confused about who your twin is or whatever. Let's not necessarily go there. The fact of the matter is that if you are a twin, a part of a twin set that are incarnate at the same time, and I don't care what other people say, especially if they're psychics or readers that specialize in twin flame readings, they will say everybody has a twin flame because then everybody is their client. If they say a small population of people are twins, how are they going to be a twin flame reader? Just saying. They may believe that, but the truth of the matter is that not everybody has a twin incarnate. It doesn't work that way. You can choose to believe me, check in with yourself, and see how that feels for you. But that is a fact. And so with that said, carnelian is for love and passion, fertility, for balancing the male and the female energies. And I was just saying a little bit ago how we just had a very specific twin flame activation day yesterday. I got information about it the day before on the 15th, thinking it was actually the 16th. My days blended together a little bit. And then I was like, oh no, today's the 16th, which was yesterday. And then that really felt like the day I was like, oh no, yeah, I'm getting it now. And so then we have today. Today felt its own set of circumstances of weird. And these last couple days I've run into personally people from my past. You can think of it as kind of like a washing of energies. And it's interesting. I'm going to get back to the carnelian, but it's interesting. The couple people that I ran into, or in the couple situations that I found myself in, were very different, but at the same time, especially the one where there wasn't any direct interaction, it was kind of like, well, I was going as guided to how I should handle that and how it felt right to me to not feel weird in my own. I don't do weird in my body. It just doesn't, I can't. Weird in my body just does not work. And so, afterwards, though, I was like, should I have, hi, Eleni. Should I have said something? Was that about me? Like, and when I was talking to my friend about it, I was like, I said, I almost didn't recognize this person. I haven't seen them in so long. And then my guides were like, yo, that's so-and-so. And I was like, oh shit, that is so-and-so. Didn't even, just right past me. And then like the message was, especially for somebody like you, not everybody you see is it for you. sometimes that's for them in some way, so they can wrap stuff up within their own business. You're just a mirror there. And especially if you have no attachment, if they're, because for me, I'm just kind of like, I was talking to my friend and I was like, yeah, I almost didn't recognize her and I didn't feel any need to make small talk. Like, I don't know her. Like, I barely knew her before and I certainly don't know her now, so it didn't feel weird to me. Plus, you and I were talking but I could feel her energy was very uncomfortable, but that didn't have an effect on my mind because I didn't have an attachment to that anymore. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, and I know, and so that I want to send that message out. That's just like um, to kind of reinforce for some of us, if we are, especially if we're angelics, if we're healers, sometimes, especially as angelics, we don't have to have any attachment to a situation. We don't have to have any more association with a person other than maybe once or twice. We can get past and over things and detach, and be able to just, not take things personally, I guess, after a certain point. I don't know. It's hard to describe that, but it just is. And sometimes if you have interactions with people, it really, truly has nothing to do with you personally other than being there. And that's the synchronicity, and you're part of the web of that exchange and that energy at that time. And it can just be that. It doesn't have to be more than that. You don't have to second guess yourself, like, should I have done more? Should I have said something? Should I have reached out something more? And if you can truly, like, live in your moments of just being guided from one moment to the other, you don't look back and do a lot of should I's, because you were already in it. But especially when we see people from our past, and there's always this, and especially if that ended abruptly or negatively, it can be very uncomfortable. What are you gonna do? So I did for a moment go, should I have handled that like any differently? What did that have to do with me? Like, I just am not getting it. And the answer was, yeah, it really doesn't have to. It really isn't anything about you. That was about her needing to see you for some reason, and that's about her. And you don't need to worry yourself about it. It's not about you. If it circles back again for some reason, okay. Well, the very next day, which is today, we were going right. A person was going left, and just happens to be a friend of that person. And I was like, that is really interesting. We got 2 days in a row, an association of people. And I never look in the cars of other people, especially as we're, I just really don't. And I did. And I saw this person. I was like, how weird. But is it really weird? I don't know. Still, I'm like, just supposed to be there. Whatever. So sometimes that's it. Okay, so I'm getting back to this here. Okay, healing energy for carnelian. Okay, so I'll just start at the beginning. Carnelian is full of the life force, stimulating metabolism and a good supply of blood to the organs and tissues. It influences the reproductive organs of both sexes and increases fertility, overcoming frigidity and impotence. So if you're frigid as a female or impotent as a male, it aids in menstrual and menopausal symptoms and may aid in vitro and artificial insemination. It benefits in the absorption of vitamins, nutrients, and minerals in the small intestine and improves blood viscosity and circulation. It helps reduce congestion, phlebitis? I don't know what that is. Sounds like phlegm. Maybe that's what that is. Varicose veins and hemorrhoids, as well as boils and skin irritations. Carnelian accelerates scarification and heals nosebleeds. However, if these occur, consult a doctor. It provides excellent support for detoxifying from alcohol or other drugs, breaking bad physical habits, and for improving overall health in general. Now, for emotional. Look. Hi, Leslie. I love it. What was I saying? What was I saying? This woman is never up in the middle of the night. She wakes up super early every single morning. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe people are going to show up because the way the energy is right now. I'm being guided to go live for a reason. And look at it. Gotta love it. I love it. You just woke up. That's awesome. So I'm reading about the crystal called carnelian. I've heard of it before, but it's like been in one ear, out the other until today. I was guided to get some. It feels amazing. It's this red orange to a pale. This one's really pale, but it's super shiny. It's very glassy. The name means flesh. So I'm reading about the benefits of carnelian and chime in with any questions. And I was just talking about, I got off on this whole other thing about what it's like to run into people or whatever. But I just find it very interesting that yesterday was an activation day for twin flames and soul family and that whole thing. And I'm guided to that, to this crystal today and what it represents and all that. So that's just one facet of it. It also helps with menstrual issues and like any kind of, like, if you're on your period, guess what? I'm on my period. Sorry if that's TMI, but I love that coincidence. And it was, I think did we talk about how it helps in prosperity and abundance, helps with building, it helps with communication, all sorts of stuff. Okay, so we're gonna get into wait, did I miss that? Yeah, I didn't read this part. Okay, I'm going to read this part because I guess I missed it. It helps heal lower back problems, rheumatism, arthritis. I don't know what that is. Neurogilia. And accelerates healing in bones and ligaments. It aids the relief of depression, especially in those of advanced years. So advanced years, to me, that's somebody 70 and above, but it doesn't matter. If you know anybody with depression, get them some carnelian. And then it says it provides excellent support for detoxifying from alcohol or other drugs, breaking bad physical habits, and for improving overall health in general. Okay, so emotional healing energy. This is when my lady Leslie came in. You started today. I started like 2 or 3 days ago, which was early, like in between new moon and full moon. And my cycle's been just like bouncing between the two, as you know, which is just really interesting. But go back and read from the beginning, or listen to me reading from the beginning, or read for yourself. This is at crystalvaults.com about carnelian. So for emotional healing energy, carnelian is a stabilizing crystal perfect for anchoring in the present, which is really important, you guys, because that's where we're at. You know, we could be infinitely old and had, be in simultaneous realities and have, whatever different incarnations and whatever the F. But this is the perspective and where we are now. So it's really important to be grounded in the present. And even if we're looking for information for our future and we're healing our past, right? We are in the present, and it's really important to be grounded in the present, because that also helps with getting stuff done in the present and being motivated and passionate about things in the present is when you're grounded. Its high energy helps restore lost vitality and motivation and stimulates creativity for new pursuits. It improves concentration and removes oh my gosh. I can't talk. I'm so tired. Externate. Oh my God, I can't say this word. I can say it in my head, but when I go to say it out loud, it doesn't work. So I'm just going to skip it. Like, annoying recurring thoughts. I can't. And daydreamers and during meditation. Oh my, I can't. It's driving me nuts. I can't say it. This stone also protects against envy, rage, and resentment, yours or from others, and encourages a love of life. Oh, I like it. It is useful for overcoming abuse of any kind, helping you to trust yourself and your perceptions. Oh my gosh. This is like what an all-around wonderful crystal. Carnelian alleviates jealousy and possessiveness in relationships and is helpful in overcoming sexual anxieties and eating disorders. It is also beneficial with male midlife crises. It cracks me up. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Carnelian chakra healing and balancing energies. Carnelian in its beautiful shades of orange stimulates the sacral chakra or second chakra located below the navel and above the pubic bone at the front of the pelvis. It controls the flow of energy and is the center of gravity of the body. No, it's not. The sacral is not the center of gravity of the body. That's the solar. I'm like, whatever. And controls the flow of information from the body to the mind and from the mind to the body. Gut feelings, intuition, and other non-linear communication comes from this chakra. When it is out of balance, the symptoms will manifest themselves as confusion, dependency on others, repression of feelings, inability to feel joy, fear of sensuality or sex, and frustration. So typically those go together, right? So if you're depressed, if you're depressed and needy, if you're repressing your feelings, if you're confused, if you're lost, if you're not happy, most likely you're not going to have a good sex life. And then you're going to be depressed about that. And then you're going to be frustrated that you're not having a good sex life on top of all the other stuff. And it'll just bounce back, creating that type of energy perpetuating upon itself. Because when you have, especially if you're in a relationship and you have the situation, because then that energy is just bouncing from one person to the other. Yeah. When it isn't balanced, you have grace, feel pleasure in life, find you are flexible and can go with the flow and do so in good spirit. Carnelian in shades of red is also a powerful ally in healing base chakra blockages and traumas, aiding one in recovering vital information about oneself and one's purpose on earth. The base or root chakra is located at the base of the spine and controls energy for kinesthetic feeling and movement. It is the foundation of physical and spiritual energy for the body. When physically out of balance, the symptoms will manifest themselves as lethargy, low levels of activity, low enthusiasm, and a need for constant stimulation. When the base chakra is in balance, the physical body regains its strength and stamina, and spiritual energy is rekindled from the form of security and sense of one's own power. It often leads to independence and spontaneous leadership. Hello, Jonas Joe. We are reading about the carnelian crystal, you guys. And then we're going to do some Fae Oracle. Okay, so spiritual energy. Carnelian encourages acceptance of the cycle of life and helps remove the fear of death. As an ancient stone, it was used to protect the dead on their journey to the afterlife. It gives courage and promotes positive life choices. So this is probably a crystal that shamans use a lot. Carnelian is a crystal of action, overcoming procrastination or indecision. It encourages one to stop waiting for dreams to appear and stimulates the courage to embrace change and divine will to begin to make one's highest goals happen. So it's like you can't just sit around and expect for shit to change. You have to actually do stuff. Carnelian encourages an awareness of the connection between the emotional state and the inner connection of the self. It promotes a spiritual energy conducive to awakening one's talents and perceptions of surroundings and for offering love in return for love. Carnelian in shades of pink orange especially encourage love between parents and children and between parents and parents. So that would be this one. I was guided to get a really light one. So that would be that. Carnelian may be used with advanced training to see into the past. It carries the stories and records of our planet and reflects its light energy back in the color of our physical world. It stimulates a deeper love and appreciation for the beauty and gifts of the earth. Oh my gosh, could I appreciate the beauty and gifts of Gaia any more than I already do? Like, I can't, like, I watch certain things and I just ball my face off because it's just like, you know, just looking at Gaia, just feeling Gaia. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me just... So meditating with carnelian, it assists in the understanding of how to bring a concept into being and how to manifest it into action. And that can just mean, okay, I want to get more creative. And then it aids you in not only putting that into, it aids you in that concept coming into fruition and how to make it happen, how to put that into action. Okay, and I think that is honestly most of the information there. Again, I was reading from the website called Crystal Vaults. Whoops, sorry, Ro. I forgot you were there. It's kind of my go-to for crystal information, just because they give a lot of different information about the crystals. And I didn't even know any of this. I just knew I needed to get some. And so I got some. And now I love it even more, knowing all the wonderful things that it does. And I highly encourage you to get some carnelian. I got 3 pieces. They were $1 a piece at the crystal shop that I always go to. In the middle of creating, thank you for inspiring me to get it out. Oh, I'm so glad. Creation booster. Yeah, big time. Well, that is my job in general. So, well, one of them. But helping helping others get boosted creatively is kind of my thing. Kind of set some fire going, you know. So let's get into the cards, you guys, before it gets too late. I was guided to well, first let's smoke some pot, because why not? It is 11:57 on the 17th. We're going to turn into the 18th here in just a couple minutes. For me here on the Pacific, for everybody else, you're probably already there. I was really ready for bed, but then guided to do this. So here we are. Thank you for joining me, you guys. It is really fun to have you here with me. Jonas Joe, tell me about... What does that say? My eyes are even... After I look at my phone for too long, I get... What does PNW mean? I don't even know what that means. Oh, Pacific Northwest. Oh, where are you? Yeah, I am in Southern California. There you go. Yeah, so let's smoke some. Hopefully this isn't clogged. It's a little clogged. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I still got some. It's okay. So, why are you kicking me? I have to share this with you guys. I acquired so many little angel things today. Look at how cute this is. I got two couples. I got a girl kissing a boy, and then the other one that I got, this is obviously just white. This is white glass. Where's this made? It's made in Japan. Yeah. I know. And then this other one is in color, and it's the boy kissing the girl. It's just really freaking cute. Oh, and then I'm gonna show you guys. I got so many things today. There is like the best place in the world to go. I'll be right back. Well, I figured I'd go get it while I was getting these other pieces. If I was to show you everything that I got today for $8, it would take probably 45 minutes because I got so much stuff for $8. Oh, all the talk of dragons inspired me to add dragonflies to my blue light ship. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it. So this is the other little ceramic. Why are you wet? Isn't that so cute? It's just adorable. So those two, you know, and these. And they were all together. So all this angel stuff was together. And I was like, oh. I'm like, what's in all this angel stuff? She's like, oh, how? I'm like, oh my God. Look at this. Isn't that so cute? She has a star. And it's glass as well. And then look. I'm going to paint on there Soul Family. Because that's what I read. Soul Family. Soul family. Like branches on a tree, we grow in different directions, yet our roots remain as one. And then a bunch of other stuff, including this sweater. It's like my favorite place to go. Okay. Oh, I didn't even tell you what it was. It's the dump. It's where people's trash goes. So this was all in the trash. Or people brought, more accurately, people bring all day long and drop off at this little store that they have there. And so it's like donated or trashed stuff. So there's guys that are and women that work there that are going through the trash, and anything that's in good condition that can be resold, they're walking over and cleaning up and taking to the store. And then people are just driving up and dropping off stuff all day long. got, I mean, I could just, it's just amazing. And, like yesterday I was going through all of my lights from my old place that were working just a month ago because I wanted some clear lights to make a lamp in here, and none of my lights worked. And none of my clear lights worked, and none of my lights work anymore from my old place. It's like they all died from my old place. So I can't use any of my lights from the outside from my old place. It's just, and they all worked before, which is really, really weird. Weird. So today we're at the dump and people are, and I turn around, or they had just brought stuff. I mean, it's just like constantly, you're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's just stuff coming in and you're just like overwhelmed. And if there's more people, more than you're like, okay, well, you know, we could both look through it together. And, you know, just kind of interesting because it's all just abundance, really. With this bucket of lights, clear lights. Look at, like, when you want to talk about manifesting, oh, and look at, and I'm like a glass freak. Look at this massive vase. I was like, I need a really big one. Not just a big one like this, and that's a big one, but like a big one. You can put like 3 gallons of milk or 4 gallons of milk in that thing. It is massive. And just last night, I'm like, great, none of my lights work. I asked Rick, I was like, do you have any? He's like, I don't have any clear. And I was like, I really want clear. Like, he had some colored ones, but, and then today, like a big, like when I say big bucket of clear, just full of clear lights, I mean, big. And Rick was like, and I was like looking through it, and it was just like this mass thing of clear lights. And then there's like extension cords and some other stuff and like Christmassy like stuff, but not really, just like, and I just went, F it, I'm taking the whole thing. And he's like, you're taking this whole thing? He's like, what about these lights? He's like, they probably don't work. And I'm like, no, I think they work. And he was like, he goes, why would they work? I'm like, why wouldn't they work? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, he's like, you're taking the whole thing? I go, yeah, I'm taking the whole thing. Let me show you the bucket. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, get it in the door. I don't know if I can get it in the door. Like, when I say big, I'm not being facetious. And we're talking like a big, oh, sorry, Rosie. We're talking a big bucket. 12-gallon tub. Filled with these lights. And then, and just, and look at how cute these are. It's not like this, to me, this doesn't even look like necessarily Christmassy. It's like, I'm going to do something with it. And that's just like, still, just a little fraction of what my enormous haul was from this place. It's just, and it was $8. Like, just the one sweater alone in a store, because it's a really nice brand. Again, I got at the dump. It's probably an $80 sweater or $150 sweater, somewhere in there. Beautiful sweater. Not this one. This is a really nice one too, but this other one, they can't charge that much because it's the dump, you know, and most of it either was in the trash or was all day long just dropped off. So they can't be charging $5 for everything. Like, you'll have a cart full of stuff and she's like $8. Like, she's like, whatever. It's awesome. It's my favorite place. And while I was there today, And this is the other thing, like I needed to go to these places, like I'm gonna probably meet people, something's gonna happen, like it's just really interesting energy that happened today. So I'm there, there's this lady that like she keeps seeing me she's like, man, you keep getting all the cool stuff. I'm like right behind you, like she was like saying stuff, it was really funny. And turns out that she works and lives at a cat sanctuary here in town. It's an underground cat sanctuary. And when I say underground, what that means is that they don't advertise to the general public, so they won't get dropped off a bunch of animals and have to be shut down. So you only can find out about it through somebody who knows about it, or through certain organizations who, you know, like hook you up apparently. So if you're like were to try to find some place on the internet, you wouldn't find it. Anyway, she works at this cat sanctuary and lives at this cat. And I was like, hey, so do I. It was like I couldn't help myself. I was like, she looked at me and I was like, I got a lot of cats. And, but she says they mostly take care of old geriatric cats that, you know, whose owners were old and died, cats that, you know, that just need a place to be. Maybe they'll get adopted or not or whatever. Anyway, it's just really wonderful to meet this lady. She was super cool. I really liked her. I gave her my information because I was like, hey, if you need help with any of the cats, as far as healing goes, please let me know because I would like to help. So she was like right on it, like didn't skip a beat about, somebody else was asking me what I did for a living. And I was like, oh, I'm a psychic, physical empath, a medical medium, a spiritual guide. And she had walked away. She was far away. And, I was going to write down my information for her because I have yet to finish my business cards, my new ones. Been a little busy. And she walks up and I was like, hey, I want to give you my information. I'm a psychic. So she's like, yeah, I heard. That's really awesome. She goes, I'd love your information. And I was like, oh, okay. I go, I heal animals. And she's like, yeah, totally awesome. Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So that was really neat. So at the dump, I got a bunch of stuff for pennies. I got all this angel stuff. I got this adorable rabbit vase. I got a teddy bear. She actually gave it to me. I saw it in her cart and I was like, oh my God, that teddy bear is so awesome. And she's like, do you love it? I go, oh my God, I love it. It's so cute. You scored. And she's like, here, take it. I don't need it. I just wanted it to go to a good home. But she's like, I can tell you really love it. She was so rad. I was like, oh my God, I love you. She was really cool. So she gave me her teddy bear. I had given her flowers though, because I got that vase that I just talked about. And she's like, man, she's like, I'm totally behind you. Look at those flowers. There's these fake flowers. I go, oh, here, I'll go take them. I'm not even into the flowers at all. I just want the vase. And she's like, no. And the other lady confirmed it. She's like, yeah, she was all about the vase. And I go, yeah, seriously. And she's like, oh, okay. She took the flowers. It's just like a really cool environment. Like I dig it. It's the dump. It's where the trash goes. It's where I like to be. What can I say? And I found out that I had to ask. I had to, win-win big time. I had to ask about the heap of trees that just like, I don't want to think too much about it, but the lady, I said, please tell me something happens with those trees. And she goes, they get sorted out and sent down to this organics farm down in San Bernardino, and then they turn it into mulch. And she's like, they do repurpose it. It doesn't go to waste. And I was like, well, at least there's that, I guess, some consolation. All right, let's not get sad about trees, you guys. Okay. We are going to pull some cards. This is going to be a what are we calling this? This is our nearly full moon, very specific heart of Faerie, the Fairies Oracle, and the Dragonfae Oracle. And maybe I got some Archangel Oracle, so maybe we'll be pulling that out as well. I'm not doing individual readings. It is way too late. This is a reading for the collective, mostly for in the love department, especially if you're a twin flame. This is what the theme has been the last couple days. We had a twin flame activation. If you're just joining me, we had a twin flame activation yesterday on 4/16, leading up to this full moon. We're also going to have a meteor shower just a couple days after that. That lasts for about 5 days. It peaks between the 22nd and the 23rd, and a lot of boosted energy as far as activations go for crystalline DNA and activating with soul family, getting in line with your mission, your soul purpose, mission pursuits, what that means creatively, because it's all tied into something creatively for everybody. It's something to do with some aspect of being creative. That can mean different things for different people, or multiple things for people. But that is a major drive. This is where our passion, this is how the key is to create. Remember, you guys, creating is key to everything. So it's how to get in line with that. And one thing also to note is that this could also be messages for self. So your divine union with your soul self, your twin flame union with your soul self. This is why we say not every single person has a divine twin flame incarnate right now. Some people will say everybody has a twin flame. Well, no, not incarnate, not at the same time, not right now. That's not the case for everybody. So for some people, it's the process of connecting with your divine soul self, as well as eventually maybe a twin flame. But it is very purposefully about that sort of very complex union that is not on the books for everybody. Soulmate unions, yeah, everybody has multiple soulmates, at least 2 to 3, if not many, many more, depending on what your soul story is. Some of us have, I've met at this point in my life probably upwards of at least 40 soulmates. So, those can be in abundance depending on what your deal is. I have a lot. I don't even know. Like, seriously, it's like, yeah. And so soulmate, soul family, so that could be platonic friendships. And then the specific, when it comes to the romantic-y, twin flame, that divine union, that is on another level. So figure it out for yourself. We're not here to, get into all of that. It's just, it is what it is. Okay. So we're going to start with the heart of Faerie. They came to me tonight. It's been very intense energetically, like I said. Even the cats were on a really tight perimeter, tighter than usually ever, especially mine. Rosie was acting differently energetically when we were outside. The dragons came in first thing in the morning. Hey, we're here, even though you can't see us and we don't have any clouds to press upon for you guys to see us. We're here and you're going to be getting messages all day long. And they weren't messing around. Here we are, 12:20 a.m. in the Pacific, and we are getting started with the Heart of Faerie Oracle. I'm going to have to go grab my charger from my laptop here pretty soon. I don't want to lose you guys. Okay. The Queen of Hearth and Home. And she has a mask. You can only see a little bit of her face. Looks like a crystal, and she has a, look at that right there. It's a fae coming out of the crystal. So the Queen of Hearth and Home, card number 7. We're going to continue. As I set it down right next to this family thing that we saw earlier. Family, like branches on a tree, we grow in different directions, yet our roots remain as one. The next card I pulled is card number 38, the Pan. And immediately I'm reminded of one of my trees that I was spending time with today and being guided to, well, a couple of crystals that were pushed out of the ground for me. And then to really start feeling into activating this space as the portal that it is. As you can see, there's this really bitchin' tree right there. And that is a door. So let's continue. We have making an appearance again. As we've seen several times with this card before, the Rocks, card number 17. Oh. Oh no is in reverse. Card number 49. It's like pop, 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 pop. That's funny. I go, oh no, and it's oh no. That's funny. Okay, and these two here. Wow, interesting. These two cards together, the Captive Man and the Child. Card number 10 and card number 24. So here is the Captive Man. And it was just 1:23:32 on the clock with 4 people, 4 likes. Here it is. Let's take, here, let me turn this down. this usually helps. We have 5 people in the house, 4 likes. Hey, guys. Welcome to our pre-full moon Faerie oracle read. This is the captive man, and we have also the child. And the child came up in reverse, but they were like mirroring each other, which is really interesting because it was like this. So we have card number 7, the Queen of Hearth and Home. The Pan, card number 38. The Rocks, card number 17. So we have 7, 17, 49 with Oh No. So a lot of male energy with these 3, the Pan, the child, and the captive man. This is specifically speaking to the divine masculine, and also this could be speaking to those of you who have a well, anybody specifically that may be coming to mind that's familiar, that's in your family, that is a younger male. Particularly if there's some kind of rift or something being held back, maybe since childhood, because these are, the child and the Pan are very similar. We'll get into that, but they are similar. Number 17, the Rocks, that is about the person who's very needy and being in a codependent relationship with somebody. They just can't do for themselves, and they're extrapolating energy from you. So again, we're just adding the layers here. So somebody very needy that can't do that for themselves is somebody very childish. Or captive. So, and then we have Oh No. So first one we're going to get into is the Queen of Hearth and Home. And please chime in with any questions or any comments. Card number 7. Where? There we go. Okay, here we go. Why do they print in? Get the. It's really hard to read that. No, look at that. 12/28 on the 18th. Interesting. Okay. All right. Hopefully this doesn't bug you guys too much. I can't see that. My eyes are so tired. Okay, so the Queen of Hearth and Home, welcome, courtesy, graciousness. She holds the mask of living flame in her hand. This is the eternal hearth fire. In ancient times, people would carry an ember from the hearth they were leaving to their new dwelling place. They carried this link from their past to their future. The Queen of Hearth and Home carries with her the ability to make a home in the moment, in the now, wherever she is. She passes this ability on to you. It is important to be at home in any situation, to create a home when you invite people into your space, whether at a table in a restaurant, a desk at work, a seat next to you on a bus or plane, or in your own home. The ability to make someone feel welcome when entering your space is a gift indeed. Brian says that he always stands up when signing books for people because he feels that he is inviting them into his home, and he wouldn't sit while people were standing in his presence. It is his way of creating a home wherever he is and wherever he interacts with people. When this card appears, remember that you are in the presence of a great queen. She gives you the ability to be gracious and create a home wherever you are in any relationship. Okay, so what I'm getting right now, you guys, is how important it is to create an environment that makes you feel really good. Because if it makes you feel really good, it's going to make other people feel really good. This is what I've found. I don't do what I do to necessarily impress other people or make other people feel good in my space. I do it for myself. That's the same reason why I wear what I wear, or I do my hair the way I do my hair, or my makeup the way I do my makeup, is so I feel good. If other people look at any of that and appreciate it or like it or think it's pretty, from my home to my hair, great. I'm glad that they like that, but I don't do it for other people. When somebody comes into my space, I want them to enjoy the feeling and the energy and it to inspire them. But the real message here is also, what I'm hearing is to really kind of drive home how important it is to oh, I gotta plug my computer is. How important it is to work on the space in your home or your area, whether it's at work or in your home, wherever you spend time. If it's a room that you rent and you don't really get to decorate the entire home, then do your room. Like whatever is yours that you have a piece of. If you share a room, then do your wall. Like do something that's really inspired by you. I will be right back. I have to plug my computer in. Totally forgot to do that. It's all tangled up in the abundance of lights that I have now. Yesterday I was like, I don't have any clear lights. Today I'm like, oh my God, so many lights. That's my world. Unplug that. Choices. Okay. Are you plugged in? Are we charging? Yes. Okay. Good. 3:33. It's 12:34 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many 1, 2, 3, 4s I've seen recently? Like, wow. Okay. And then of course, the other thing about being gracious and, always be welcoming to people, that whole thing obviously is huge. There's a balance between maintaining your space and, being open to people. And it's important to be open with people, because not only may you have messages for them, I guarantee you they have messages for you too. So it's good to not be closed off to that. And if you are a friendly, welcoming person, the more of this that you'll receive. If you're totally closed off to people all the time, then you're really closing off interactions, not only on the human side, but on the spiritual side as well, because our divine counterparts in our spirit tribe most certainly use each other, us, to be voices for them. And I mean, even though I'm constantly in contact with my tribe, I get messages from people all the time, and I know it, and I'll be like, you're my angel talking. In a voice I can actually hear, and they'll be like, ding, 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 but that's just me being really aware of that. And some people just, they'll hear messages from a friend or a stranger or a family member or something on TV, and it may associate, but they may not realize just how deeply that might be connected, and just, pass things off all the time. This is why I say pay attention, look in places that, people think that they just, go to tarot or psychics for the messages, and that's not true at all. So anyway, moving on, guys. We're going to go to, we're going to go to the Captive Man, card number 10. My mother often answers my questions that I say in my head, makes me laugh, and she thinks I said it out loud. Ah, that's hilarious. So telepathic. She's being telepathic. Yeah, I know I've done that. I've done that with people too. And then they're kind of like, or I'm thinking something, and the other person will be like, what? And I'm like, I didn't say anything, because I actually didn't say anything physically. Okay, so the Captive Man. False perceptions, enthrallment, release from captivity. Ooh, release from captivity. The Captive Man says a lot about the darker nature of Faerie. Faerie women, especially Faerie queens, have always desired human male companionship, and they aren't very particular about how they go about getting it. The Captive Man is blinded by Faerie glamour and cannot see his way clear to the entanglement he is trapped in. Men and women can be trapped by false perceptions. We easily become enamored of someone or something that is not what it appears to be. We are blind and deaf to the warnings of our friends and continue to believe in something that may well be doing us harm and is certainly keeping us enthralled to false ideals. If the Captive Man appears, we must ask for clear sight. We need the help of our true friends, Faerie and human, to see what binds us. When we finally see the truth, we can begin to free ourselves from those harmful ties. Just as the Faerie Queen is loath to give up her human lover, a situation in which we are trapped by false perceptions may seem impossible to escape. Asking for true sight is the best way to begin. Conversely, we may be the captor, imprisoning a person or an idea when we should be giving it freedom. By releasing a thought or a person from captivity, we give it the space to truly become what it needs to be, And we often find that it stays with us. So, go away, light. You're so bright. Okay, so the captive man. So this is just reminding me of a couple of things, actually. One would be for people who still have attachments, like you're captive, you still have attachments to in some way a relationship or relationships that didn't work out. And your attachment may not even be to the other person. It may be to more of what you went through or what you feel you lost, and that could be time. A lot of people see relationships that don't work out as time lost. So it could be that. It could be like whatever the actual ailment is or issue is. I'm getting this real sense of that's a slice of what this message is about the captive man. That and most people have past relationships where there's aspects there that are still relevant wounds, I guess you could say, that are keeping us attached and captive in a way. So a lot of people will like, okay, for example, yesterday I saw a post and it said something like people change, love hurts, and I did a repost on it in my story, and because it was just really, to me, it was really negative. It was just like love sucks, love hurts, this whole thing. And that hey there, infinite love. And that just really felt very negative to me. It felt like, okay, if we're perpetuating the idea that love hurts, then you're not evolving. You're still in some attachment to not trusting love, to not understanding that love is something to run towards, not run away from. But we can hold ourselves back from that because we're so wrapped up in either stuff we can't control in the future, and so it holds us back, it keeps us held back, or stuff from the past that we're not over, whether it's not, it has nothing to do with the actual person anymore, or it could be that person hurt me and so I'm so angry at that person, really getting you nowhere as well. So it's that type of captivity. It's also for some people being entangled with someone who is just not healthy, not the right person. But some people get so addicted to their relationships that it doesn't matter if they know that it's not the right thing to be in. And they also feel very captive in, what do I do if I'm alone? What do I do if this dissolves? So on both sides of that, people can be captive and not moving forward because of past stuff, and they can be captive and not moving forward and getting out of things. So one way or the other, not starting things, not ending things. Yeah, that is a really good mantra. What Willow put down here? I command, I release all attachments on all dimensions across all space and time that are preventing me from reaching my highest potential reality for the I am that I am. And you can also put in there, you can specifically say something like that, releasing any energetic attachments to, well, you say that there. There's something else came in and then it no, I mean, that's good. What you put, that's like a pretty universal one, but there's this other, anyway, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Sorry guys, I am really tired. Buddha said everything is suffering, but it is what you make it. Everything is, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, we have to understand that sometimes that with love there will be loss, and that will be painful, or we will suffer that, but that's a human condition, because we know infinitely that our souls are connected. So there is no real loss. A lot of people do have the perception that, you only grow through pain. And it's true to an extent. It's like the first few levels of growth is through pain and suffering, but that doesn't mean that that's the constant learning basis for your entire life or evolution. That's the beginning part of it. And once you get past that, then you're not in a constant state of suffering, because you have already gone through those growing pains and figured that out. So it's kind of, it's a little multi-layered, and it is what you make of it, because if you've gone through that pain and seen it for what it's worth, then you're moving on. Okay, so speaking of moving on, we're going to go to the child, number 24. Okay, the child. Okay, the child. Pure joy, sense of wonder without judgment. Look at this fairy child. She embodies pure delight, pure joy of being alive to the world around her. Children spend time in the realm of fairy without realizing that it's a separate reality. And for them, perhaps it isn't. So she says, our son Toby used to see fairies all the time. We just took it for granted that he could and encouraged the interaction. A lot has been written about getting in touch with your inner child, but it isn't always as easy as it seems. To experience something without judgment is almost impossible for an adult. We have too much to compare it with, but we must try to do just that. When you pick the child, take a few minutes to really look at it. Look at the creature in the background as well. That creature is looking at the little spark of light, just like the fairy child is. they share that experience. So here, let me show you. Whoa. Thought I was losing my phone. It's very slippery. So the child is just really enthralled. It's fully into it. And so is the Fae creature there too. So that's saying they share that experience. The spark is reflected in their eyes and echoed in the lights at the tips of the child's wings. In the distance, you can see another little light. Is it getting closer or leading you further in? What happens if you follow it? The child can fly. Imagine flying with her. Follow the light and see where it leads you. If the child is part of a larger spread, then try to imagine seeing the situation you are in as a child would see it. Don't analyze, just observe and see what happens. So this is another message to go with the flow. So it is, before I get distracted with what you just wrote, I'm going to finish my thought. It's definitely a reminder to go with the flow and be in that wonderment, that child wonderment. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Things go wrong. Yeah, you can see it. It's all perception, right? So things go wrong, but things just go. Things evolve, things change, and things come into your reality that are needed to. It's our perception that it's negative or positive. Sometimes we go through a negative situation because we need to purge that out to get to a positive situation. One of my clients, she's like, there's a situation. Am I going to get fired? Well, my information back to her was, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. So my interpretation was, no, you're not going to get fired. And she texted me the next day, I got fired. And I was like, what? And then it's still, tell her not to worry. That's the message. Tell her not to worry. And I was like, all right, well, I'm still getting the message to tell you not to worry. It's really important that you just, I just, sorry, but really what could you have done if you knew yesterday you were getting fired today? There's really nothing you could do about it. She's like, yeah, that's true. I'm like, still, the message is not to worry. It's all going to work out. So within 24 hours, she has a job that pays more and she has to work and she's going to be working less. So that's worked out really quickly for her. Right after she got, with her discount, a really awesome thing from her work that she couldn't have afforded otherwise. So I'm like, hey, check it out. It all worked out. It's definitely our perception. Sometimes, we can see the boyfriend or the girlfriend cheating on us or the friend betraying us as these horrible things. And yeah, they suck because they don't feel good, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's all negative. Yeah, just remember life goes on. Yeah, but that whole thing that's like life goes on just sounds kind of like drudgery, like life goes on until hopefully sooner than later you're dead. It's like, I don't know. I don't like that message. Okay, so that was the child. So we did the captive man, we did the child. I'm going to do the pan. Number 38. With this bright light. Gosh, because, wow. Joyous flight, courage, the big thing, an awfully big adventure. That's how the Pan sees life and death. He flies joyously on to whatever comes next, knowing that it's all part of the journey. It takes courage to be adventurous. It takes courage to trust that you can deal with whatever comes next. When things seem daunting, when the future looks terribly uncertain, borrow bravery from the Pan. Remember his joyous flight and let yourself take that first step towards whatever awaits you. After all, it's an awfully big adventure. So instead of being caught up in getting freaked out about it being something big, look at it in bite-sized chunks. You know, it can be, holy shit, I'm finally understanding that so-and-so is my twin, or I just, you know, got into alignment with something. I'm feeling that like sort of thing. And instead of being so overwhelmed that you're that captive man, or woman, that it's, even though you see it as this big thing, that you don't let it overtake the moment, and just being that child in the moment, and being wondrous at and full of wonderment at just how beautiful unity is, whether it's a friend thing or a divine partner. And it could just be maybe getting into alignment more about your own personal soul mission and what you should be doing. And feeling like it's a really big thing, or there's a lot that needs to be done, and letting that be too overwhelming. I felt like that. Big time. But again, that's perspective, and it's just about focusing back down. Again, the carnelian will help with that. In the meantime, though, we're going to let's pull out the rocks and talk about who this guy is to anybody here, because most people have one of these or more than one of these in their life, and it can be an issue. So let's get into that real quick. Manipulation, neediness, making an effort. The poor rock's always ill, sniffles, aches, and pains, a slight temperature. He just can't gather the energy to help himself, but he always has enough energy to get you to help him. He is, after all, the king, and being the king means having servants. Now that he wouldn't, not that he wouldn't help himself if only he felt up to it, but in the meantime, just be a dear and fix him a little something to eat, preferably expensive and time-consuming to make, but it's just the thing to make him feel better, and you do want to help him get well, don't you? And would you go out and pick up his dry cleaning? He would do it himself, but he's not feeling up to it. And besides, it's too cold to risk going out. And you remember what happened the last time, don't you? But you'll be fine. A brisk walk is just the thing for you. Do you know someone like this? This person is a master of manipulation. He can get you to do anything for him because he uses guilt as a finely honed tool. He's very difficult to say no to someone as needy as this person appears to be. But every once in a while, try saying that you just can't do whatever it is he's asking of you. This may come as a shock to the rocks. He isn't used to being denied anything, but it will begin to restore the balance in your relationship. If you recognize yourself in the rocks, think about the reasons you ask people to do things for you that you're perfectly capable of doing. Is it the desire to control a person or a situation, or do you really need help? Combine the rocks with the speaker of truth and find. Oh, excuse me. and find the answers. Okay. So luckily, I don't have anybody like this in my life anymore, but I did in the past, several of them. Sounds like your mother. I know that most people have somebody like this in their life, and it is really important to establish, especially these people are activated and triggered and in your life, especially to keep you from doing your very, 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 very important work. They'll come in at just the right time, like right when you're getting ready to start painting, right as you're getting ready to meditate, right when you're about to watch a live with Infiniti, right when, maybe you have a healing scheduled, or, who knows what, but they seem to not only be needy people, but what I'm hearing here specifically about this is it's the counter to, it's kind of the counter to, yeah, it's kind of, well, in a way, it's kind of the counter to the child. Because while you should be, full of that wonderment and really focusing on the light and hearing your guides and being in that space, you're being pulled in a different direction because of this dude. And it could be very one specific person I'm hearing, or it could be just because you're meant to be targeted and pulled away from doing the things that you're supposed to do. So different things and different people or animals will get triggered to kind of act up to distract you. So the phone will ring, somebody will knock at the door, like the dog will, suddenly need to take a shit or something, it'll just be like one of those things. Or that very specific person. So this is a message to be really aware of who and what and how you may be getting distracted and pulled into other people's stuff, or where you may be stepping in landmines that are just like little messes that pop up that you need to deal with because one thing led to another kind of thing. Either way, it's taking you away from what you need to focus on, and that's yourself and your mission and going forward. If it is I'm also hearing for some people, it could be that you got into a relationship that you're realizing needs to end before you can move on. But it's kind of one thing after that you're like, okay, well, I'll break up with them, or I'll leave, or I'll downgrade, or I'll move in this other direction, or I'll, this isn't the right person to be spending my time with. This doesn't feel right, but I don't want to leave them because it's this and that just happened and this is coming up. But then it can just go on and on and on. And why? Because this is just the nature of their programming in your life, and you have to control, alt, delete them. Hate to put it so coldly, but A program like that will not cease to run. It won't disinfect itself. It can't. It won't know how to fix things. It won't care to fix things. It'll be a parasite and a creature of chaos, where it's just a continuous one thing after another. Yeah. So there's also that. And this could even just be a friend. This could be somebody who's maybe trying to turn you off of pursuing somebody or something that you know is probably really good for you. So anything like that, anything that's going to be taking your focus in a different direction because of this outside influence or influences. If it's circumstantial or situational, like it could be more than one person. It could just be a slew of different things just being activated. I sometimes have to implement not planning, just very loosely in my mind, having an idea of something that I'm going to do around about time and not plan too much, because that kind of rounds the troops up to get in my way. So I've learned that is a tactic as well, that you can implement. You don't have to share all your information with people in your life. Some people just give way too much information about what they're doing, when, and with whom, and pretty much all the time. And people don't need to know all your business all the time. You need to have your own personal space and energy. So, you know, if you're going to yoga, if you're going to meditate, if you're going to draw or paint or write or sing or dance or whatever, you know, people don't need to know that you've got that on the books, that you're just whatever. And I know that might sound weird to some people, but it's necessary. And if you're really being real, you could be like, yeah, you know what? I can go back days or weeks or months and go, yeah, it's these people, or it's that thing that just keeps popping up every single time I try to do a certain thing. It's inevitable. And so, you know, a lot of times we don't want to look at a certain person and go, you're a problem. you're a problem. You're a little landmine in my life. I mean, we could call them different things, but or like I said, it can be different things. It could be all of a sudden the guy that you've been waiting to come and fix your whatever is showing up right as you're about to fill in the blank. And you're in that moment of, oh, I guess I'm going to do this now. Don't fall for it, because that dude that you've been waiting for to come and fix your whatever in your sink was just activated in that moment to distract you. I mean, it's a thing. Okay. So, or right when you're having a really deep conversation with somebody about life and your spirituality and healing and, or maybe what you want to create or whatever. And, you know, your mom or your dad is calling, or, you know, something that is meant to pull you away from what you're doing. I cannot tell you how many times I am in a conversation with somebody about their own spirituality, about life or the universe at large, about, you know, important shit, things they need to talk about or things they need to know. And inevitably their phone just starts going off. They're getting distracted. They're falling for it. They fell for it. I watch it unfold time and time and time and time and time again. So you have to be cognizant of it. You can't just, you have to draw the line in the sand, boundaries, you know, that sort of thing. Got to do that with any and every kind of rocks there is. And sometimes because people are influenced by negative entities and are host for negative things that are meant to activate you in a negative way. If you say to that person who tends to get in your way what you're doing, like I'm gonna do yoga at 4 o'clock and then I'm gonna do whatever, inevitably they're gonna come and interrupt you. Just like, don't give them information. Shut your phone off. Do what you gotta do, but send a message. You're not gonna stop me. Sometimes people will do that because they don't have the strength and the fortitude and the courage to step out of their old suit and put on the new suit that they're meant to do to evolve, because people are meant to evolve. But they don't have the courage to do it, but they see you doing it. They see you getting healthy. They see you getting connected. They see your home changing. They see the people in your life changing, and then they'll try to stop you because you're changing. So be aware of these things. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh. Interesting. We got Elb the Retriever, and this is from the Faerie Oracle. And we got the Maiden. So we got mirrored numbers. And the Maiden, and this is a different deck. So the first deck was the Heart of Faerie, and this is the Faerie Oracle. In the Heart of Faerie, we got the Child. In the Faerie Oracle, we're getting the Maiden. Very similar. But the Maiden is with the female energy. The Child, she was called the she, but it's either with that interpretation with that card. Elb the Retriever, is a very interesting card, and one of the first where I started getting visions of alternate meanings of things and really started to feel the information from the Fae. So I'm going to read to you. We're not going to move on from here. To get more cards from the Faerie Oracle. Actually, I'm going to finish with card number 49, which is Oh No. All right. So as I was saying, oh no, card number 49. Just one of those days, obstructions and the unexpected. Look at him. He's been waiting a long time to be picked. He's so eager to do his job, and it's easy to see what that job is. You guessed it. It's making sure that things aren't going to go the way you want them to go. You break your favorite cup and super glue your hand to it while trying to stick the handle back on. You burn the toast and remember that it was the last of the bread that you were supposed to be using for a sandwich for lunch. Your dog chews up what looks like an important letter from the tax man, but might have been a notification of a huge lottery win. So what to do? you can go back to bed, a really tempting idea, but remember that your cat or dog has already taken the warm spot you vacated and isn't going to give it up easily. Or you can just accept that sometimes life isn't what you expect and certainly not what you think it should be. When oh no turns up, be philosophical about it. It's just going to be one of those days. All you can do is go with it and try to keep your sense of humor. But what we need to look at here is what I just got done saying when we're talking about distractions and obstructions and things getting in your way. This is reiterating it. Please be aware that, yeah, things are going to happen. Just one of those days is kind of just like every single day. And it's also dealing with energies and what may get in your way and what you're going to push through and what you're just going to be like, you know what, today's not the day for that. I'm just not going to do that today. Or I'm going to push through because nothing is going to stop me today. Only you are going to know how to handle that. But to know the difference in that you have a choice into how to handle that is really the key. Okay, so there is that. So basically just reiterating what I was saying before. So now we're going to move on to the Faerie Oracle. With Ilb the Retriever, card number 41. Willow says, ha, that happened yesterday. My uncle won the lottery, but I went to feed your uncle won the lottery, but I went to feed the fish and I knocked over the water from my willow branch. The water got into the selenite and the selenite broke. Wow. It happened so fast, but I didn't really feel, wow, holy moly. Wow, that's crazy. How much did he win? That's awesome. Good for him. Okay. Ilb the Retriever, and it's spelled I-L-B-E, the Retriever. That's amazing. Stubbornly optimistic. 1,500. That's awesome. Good for him. Okay, card number 41, Ilb the Retriever. Oops. Oh, it's 117 on the 18th. Here we are. Well, okay, so she says, while writing this, I was having a little trouble with Ilb, not for the first time. I couldn't find my keys anywhere. He thinks it would be greatly to my benefit to be more organized and tidy, so he smears not quite visible juice on things that are out of place, or he encourages the resident cats to hide things. Cats seem remarkably willing to cooperate with these little bits of fairy helpfulness. Then I have to hunt and hunt for them, and Ilb hopes I shall be more organized the next time. You may have encountered him in this guise. When he has done something like this, my son observes, he just looks at us with that who me look. Keep your eye on him and whatever isn't nailed down. And if you scold or contradict him, he just gets huffy and insists on having his own way. This sort of busybody helpfulness is just one of Ilb's tasks, however, and he also has more important things to do. Yeah, he does. Ilb is a protector. He retrieves and safeguards our lost hopes, forgotten dreams, and mislaid keys. My keys were under a stack of papers, blah, 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 blah. He holds these seeds to our potential futures carefully and delicately until we are ready for their return. Oh, look at that, 118. Oh, I caught it just in time. He holds these seeds for their return. Oh my goodness. This freaking phone could be any. It is so slippery. Why aren't you working? There we go. Okay, hopes. He holds these seeds of our potential futures carefully and delicately until we are ready for their return. Sometimes we don't think we are ready for them, or we have given up hope altogether, and then he may arrange reminders for us, events or people in our lives that bring us back memories of past hopes and dreams. When that happens, we need to look at them again and consider how we might manifest them in reality. So what he's saying here is he's trying to remind you of something that you lost, a hope or a dream. You may have thought it's gone forever, but he is holding it out for you to reconsider. He thinks you can do something with it now. It may not be obvious, but his clever nose has scented a path, a potential opening for bringing this into your life. Sometimes Ilb may be saying that a long-awaited dream is at last arriving on the scene, and there is nothing we need to do but open our hearts and minds to it. However, we usually have to work for it. Another attribute of Ilb is loyalty. So, yeah. Okay, so once again, 420. Smoke some. I think I need to smoke some because, like, okay, before I smoke some and I get distracted with myself. Ilb's card. And connecting with it, as I said before, his card was one of the first that I got information from that was very much outside of what was in the book. He is known as Ilb the Retriever. He is to bring you back into awareness of your hopes and your dreams and things from your past. He is also one to show you visions of past lives, of specific soul matey type union, and the whole like twin flame thing. He is there to remind us of that infinite connection as the retriever. He's there to, as you can see, he has this pearl that he holds. A lot of the, let me see. Yeah, it's definitely a theme in this reading again. So this has happened before. So take a look. We've got that pearl right there. The Queen of Hearth and Home. She's also holding something similar like that. We have the light here with the child. I'm not sure about the captive man, but then we have the maiden again with these lights. We also have the this mirrored number with Ilb and the maiden with the 14 and the 41. So a lot of energy and yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. It's 1:23 right now. So I'm trying to be choosy with my words because it's very telling, the information on what's happening with this reading, and it's all very much connected with the whole twin flame thing and with the numbers that we're seeing right now. So I'm going to read the maiden so we can be up to date and get that information so it'll tie in. I opened right to it. It's on page 78. Okay. The Maiden. Oh, actually, it starts on page 77, the card before. So, or the page before. So card number 14, the Maiden. Auspicious beginnings, birth, growth, joy, and hope. So there's the tie-in there with the hope. So Ilb is supposed to remind you of hope, and the Maiden, hope. Hope is very much tied into the twin flame union. That's a big theme when it comes to people who are twins, is this resilience for faith and hope, especially. So it's really interesting how these are the 14 and the 41 cards, but I will read. From her crown of light to her star-jeweled toes, the Maiden is pure joy. She is the face of the force that generates growth throughout all the worlds. When she smiles, troubles melt. Where she dances, flowers spring from the ground and burst into bloom. It is from the Maiden that the pixies learned the dance that keeps the underworld turning. And probably our world too, for that matter. She is newly born every morn, and she carols her plangent song of growth for all beings in all the worlds. She sees the magic and the light in everything and takes endless delight in it. Yet, even though the Maiden is so wonderful and powerful, she is a child and needs to be cared for, nurtured, and cherished. When she takes the form of a flower, someone must see that she gets enough water and sun. Whenever we look after something new or young, we are caring for the Maiden, whether she is in the form of a blossom, a sapling, a baby, or a new idea. She, in turn, is likely to switch between joyfully and gratefully receiving such nurturing and insisting on an independence that she really isn't ready for yet. She knows deep within herself that she needs to grow, learn. What she needs to wait. What? She knows deep within herself what she needs to do to become, and she moves towards this with the directedness of a child. The Maiden also has the simplicity and curiosity of a child, seeing with cloudless eyes. She has an openness to life, love, new things, and new experiences. Every moment with her is an adventure filled with playfulness and hope. Innocent, she is awakening to and learning about the world. Much of her learning comes from laughter and silly jokes, and she trusts what life gives her. Every time we allow ourselves to be filled with joy, we become more like the Maiden. The Maiden signifies new beginnings and growth. You couldn't ask for a more auspicious card than this if you are beginning something new. Spontaneity, joy, growth, exhilaration, and promise for the future are significant here. We must note also that in the early stages of any process, there is vulnerability and a need for protection, shelter, and guidance. But there is also a magical, little bear, are you okay? Little bear, you okay? Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm going to finish this. I'll take care of her. What are you doing? Little bear. Oh, she needs to go potty. Hold on 1 second. Let me get. That's why you're crawling around. I need to get the litter box for her. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Here, babe. She didn't use it. I don't always have it in here because we don't always need it in here. And she would prefer to go outside, but she's not going to get to go outside. You need to go potty, babe? Come here. Go pee-pee. Go pee-pee. You can use the litter box. It's not going to kill you. Thought you really needed to go badly. Okay. I'm going to start here. Spontaneity, growth, joy, exhilaration, and promise for the future are significant here. We must also note that in the early stages of any process, there is vulnerability and a need for protection, shelter, and guidance, but there is also a magical impetus towards burgeoning growth. Trust the process, but take care of the details as well. The maiden is also the inner child who needs to be under the supervision of a competent inner adult in order for her to feel secure and loved. She is not happy when we spoil her. Consider what is growing in your life. Make a list of your hopes, dreams, and plans. Look for the growth within you and think about how you can cherish and nurture that. Bless the growth you see around you. So, this feels like your dog just kicked you in her sleep. That's funny. Well, there you go. And very much, again, on theme with what we were talking about before. But again, what I was hearing was about the whole new thing, the newness, the growth, the opening yourself up. That what I was seeing was that being about like romantic relationship, that being about the newness, this burgeoning, this is coming into play kind of energy stuff. So for right now, sorry, Ariel's very fidgety. So for right now, it's about seriously? If it's that there is somebody that's just coming on the scene, it's about letting yourself being vulnerable and just going with it. If there isn't anybody there, it's about getting into that mindset. And sorry, my bird, I don't know what his deal is. He's like, you done? So I just got a lot of that imagery. Like number one, it was kind of that excitement of new, but also a little scared of new, like hoping, like this, all of that kind of jumbled up together. But with these two together, it's really, really speaking to that, that 14 and the 41, both talking about hope. So again, this could also be, I'm feeling familiar ties that are either distant or from long ago that may be circling back around. Like people, like family people might be coming into play. that could be, so it could be soul family, could be romantic soulmate, twin flame, or actual family. And I'm also feeling like for some people, like, oh, I totally lost all hope in this. I didn't even think this was a possibility. But it turns out that it is. So there's that theme there too. Okay. And then last but not least, before I pass out, is taking everything in me not to just like be doing that a lot. Yawning. We are going to do some Dragonfae Oracle. Okay. And then we're going to call it a night because I've already been on here. Oh, that didn't take long. Alrighty then. We're going to be quick about this and pick one card because I'm about to pass out and this card just flipped right out. The Lovers. So, more on that whole theme. Yeah, you too? Yeah, I'm like, oh gosh, for you, are you kidding me? It's like 4 o'clock in the morning for you. You see this guy just, boo! Lovers just popped right out. Flippity flip, real quick. We just got the Lovers, I think the last time I did the Dragonfae Oracle, the time before. But it's been kind of on that theme. So, it says, love each other. So, and this is card number 3 in the Dragonfae Oracle. So, even though we got it recently, I'm going to read it right now. Again, brutally small, just brutal. Especially for tired eyes. It's just... I know, the Lovers. It's kind of funny. Like I said, can't make this shit up. Love each other. The Lovers speak. Passionate love seems to be the realm of fairy tales and romantic epics, but it truly is a part of your life and being too. Know that when you draw this card, you are a beautiful being worthy of bliss, romance, and adoration. There is a god and a goddess for everyone, and you are about to discover that for yourself. Know that within you is everything you need to draw to you the perfect love and perfect trust. Know that physical and soul passion can be ignited. Asking is the beginning. Your search for soulmate is over because with you now is the truth that by believing in your true nature, the passionate and the romantic being that you are drawing to you the one who will adore you. Be quiet and still and believe. Sensual delight, physical ecstasy, and bliss are yours. About the Lovers. Now, this part I didn't read last time, so I will read it this time. About the Lovers. These beings have been through many trials in order to be together. They are true soulmates, but their relationship is one which is fed each day with embraces, sweetness, and passion. They remind us that in order to love well, we must actively love each day. And that to neglect our lover is ultimately neglecting our own happiness. They speak to us of the necessity of romantic gestures, that keeping love alive is as simple as watering a garden daily to keep the plants in full health. Their own love is guarded by the Dragonfae, whose blood they carry. Your own relationships will be protected and looked over by a being of the Dragonfae, who will ensure that your true love will come to you when you treasure this love enough to nurture it, to have it grow, and to share the love in your heart with the other generously, honestly, with courage. You will find love. It will be sacred, protected, and know that you have your own Dragonfae guardian who will ensure this comes to be. When you believe in love yourself truly from the depths of your heart. Ay, ay, ay. Your relationship needs tending. This is divinatory meetings. Your relationship needs tending, as do all things that live. It could be time to make a romantic gesture, to love another as you would wish to be loved, to understand that love cannot flourish when there is mistrust and anxiety. You may be despairing that your relationship may never match your dreams. Please know that your true love lies within your own willingness to believe that you too can experience passionate love, and that you are well worthy of its ecstasies, no matter what your beliefs are of your age, your health, your beauty. You are a beloved one. The Dragonfae know this. They now ask you to know this too. Working with the lovers, create self-loving moments in your day. Allow yourself to feel loved. Like I started with this entire reading, it was about, or it's close to that, was with the Queen of Hearth and Home, about creating a space, but creating that for you and then extending that out. So loving yourself, create self-loving moments in your day. Create a space that almost everywhere you look, you feel love. And so this might mean purging a lot of things, getting rid of things, looking around your space. And if it doesn't truly bring some type of high, blissful reaction in your energy, then maybe it's time to let it go and make room for new. Allow yourself to feel love. Feel how loved you are by the Dragonfae and by the entire consciousness of all that is, and offer to yourself gestures and small acts of kindness that will further allow and attract passionate love into your life. Know that sensuality and physical union are bliss and birthrights, and that you deserve these experiences now. Allow any feelings of need to fall away and replace them with a deep knowing that you are worthy of love. So it's not about need. Allow any feelings of need. It really isn't about need, because we don't need that to survive, do we? Yeah, lots of clearing space. It's really important. It's really important to clear space. It's really important to create space. It's really important to fill that space with a certain energy, purge it of other energy, get rid of things that have any attachment to negative energy that bring you in any kind of dissonance. Brushing the dog, clearing out and de-flipping hair. I love it. So yeah, what else can we say at this point? We got the lovers from the Dragonfae, and I gotta tell you, that's just really kind of it's just really been the theme. Like I said, yesterday was an activation day. We're in this month of transitions and transformations, and just being transformative within ourselves. And I've talked to several people who are feeling this right now, who are like, yeah, I've done a lot of clearing and healing, or I used to be more needy. I have looked outside myself to feel things that now I'm feeling it all from within and within my spiritual connections. And I don't feel that neediness, that need to have a person. And it really is truly kind of the magical quotient in our lives, and not just for romantic partners, but in this time of needing to be with people who needing to be around people who share our same vibe. So that's a thing too. It's sure, it's great, you know, the boyfriend girlfriend thing or whatever you want to call it, but the romantic union, that divine union. But for anybody to be truly in our lives, we need to be open and honest and vulnerable. We have to have that kid type excitement of having a really good friend, a best friend, somebody to adventure with, to spark each other's creativity, but to have it be so much better because we're adults now. And there is such little control as a child. So we can have that great, joyful inner child thing going on. I mean, do we see kind of like the balance? We had the child, the maiden, she's new every day, she sparks life, she's full of joy, but she also needs somebody responsible. To let her feel vulnerable. I think when you see a child that feels really safe with their life, they look at their parents for like, is this okay? And all their parent, mother or father or grandparent, you know, whoever is in charge, whoever they happen to be around, gives them this look like, yeah, you're cool, it's good. Then they're like, all right, you know, they're not like scared of everything because the bottom's going to drop out, and they know that they can rely on that, and they can really just step out vulnerably, but know it's okay at the same time. I can do it. Okay, cool. What's going to happen? You know, when you see that in a child, it's a really beautiful balance between feeling safe and being curious and vulnerable and just going for it. Is a really, really, to me, it's like the sweetest spot. It's such a sweet spot. And when you can do that for yourself, it's just it blows everything out. It's a beautiful, wonderful place to be. And that's when, ironically, when you can do that and you feel all that, that's when the relationships start to come in that are in balance and in harmony with that as well. Because those people have done some work too. Not that nobody is perfect. And we all have our moments. But yeah. So anyway, with that said, you guys, I want you to go in to the next 24 to 48 hours during this full moon time where things are really lit up energetically, really super down. I mean, the energy today was just, it was like movie style. It stopped my dog. The dragons were out in full force. They were so present. Angels, big time, just the spirit tribe, just energies, and the overall messages that keep coming, and everything is just kind of teeing it up, you know? So focus, have fun, play, spend these next few hours into the full moon really doing that thing, getting into a space and a consciousness to release, to unite, do a mantra, do a ritual, do a specific, I mean, I did months and months ago where I did this whole thing about bringing my spirit tribe and my soul family in, and that I was ready for that, and everything changed after that. I totally had forgotten that I'd even done it. And then when things started to really move, I was reminded. So that's a really powerful thing to do, because it is magic, it is alchemy, it is intention, it is focused energy, it is sending a message out vibrationally to those that are in alignment with and receiving that. So it's not just, some thing to say. It really means something. It really means something. So that's just like really heavy on me right now, is to just think about if there isn't anything like super detailed, that's great. If there isn't any one person, that's wonderful. It doesn't, you don't need that. It isn't about the outside, it's about the inside. And it's about you being in that space so it can come to you. You don't worry about that. All that on the outside will take care of that itself. It's about what's in here. And so when you say, I want this, what did they say? You have to ask. It's teed up for us. This is the time, the energy, this is coming in to where it's going, unless you really want to dig your heels in and say, no, I absolutely don't want any part of that, then fine, then don't have any part of that and say that instead. But if it's been in any kind of part of you that is a possibility in your life to have that, or if that's even been that twin flame thing, that super divine attachment, I guess you could say, if something like that has been outside of the realm of where you're thinking, that's fine too. But I do know that for each of us, I have gotten confirmation on this, most people are confused. I was, and are distracted with certain details of all of that stuff, more so than just knowing that your readiness and your willingness to be vulnerable and open, and that it is a timeline for us, most definitely. Just because somebody hands you a ticket to a plane like a trip, doesn't mean you have to board it. But now you know that it's there, so it's about thinking about that as well. At the same time, it's also about the other side of focusing on self, what you're creating, what you're making, what you're doing with your time, your energy, where you want to go, what you want to do, having small chunks and goals and things like that. Alrighty. So with all of that goodness, and the fact that I am so tired, I'm going to get going. I know that this was a really cool reading, and I'm glad that it came out. It was information that needed to come. Yeah, seriously. Anchor into the present. Exactly. And Carnelian, I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. This stuff that I read about tonight. definitely help doing that. So thanks for being here. I love you. Thank you. I'm glad you joined me. That was really fun. It is 1:54 here in the Pacific. Oh my God. So late there in Eastern. So please have a wonderful sleep. Don't forget to turn off your ringers and your phones and all that good stuff. Draw the blinds or the shades if you have them. And I hope you can sleep in a little bit. I love you all so much. Please comment, share, like, subscribe, do all that stuff if you're so guided. If not, whatever. And I guess I will see you back here not too long from now for the full moon officially. Okay, I love you. Mwah. Have a wonderful night. Infinite love and blessings. Don't forget the key is to create, and I love you already. Bye. End stream. Bye-bye.